Hello everyone, welcome to Hopeful Turns. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you the pattern for this beautiful crochet shawl. Now we'll be using the dragon wings or dragon tail pattern to make this shawl. So if you see the shawl here, it has a asymmetrical pattern. So we will be working from the narrow end and then we will be working towards the wider side. And you can make this shawl as big or as wide as you want it to be. Now this entire shawl has been made with double crochet. It's a really simple pattern and I'll try to break down the pattern as simple as possible. I'll also explain it with the help of a crochet diagram or crochet chart so as to clear all the doubts that you might have. Okay, so let's see the supplies that you would require. So for this shawl here, I have used a DK weight or a light worsted weight yarn. Now you can use any weight yarn, but when it comes to hook, if you're looking for a shawl which has a nice drape, I would say use a larger hook size. Now this yarn here suggests a 4 mm crochet hook, but here I have used a size H or a 5 mm crochet hook. But while doing the tutorial for the demo part, I'm going to use the worsted weight or a medium 4 weight yarn so that the stitches are a little bit bigger, so it will be easier to show as well as see. Alright, and when it comes to the grams, you might need about 180 grams of yarn to make a large adult size crochet shawl. Alright. Now, if you are looking for some other crochet patterns that like the traditional triangular or rectangular shawl patterns, I do have a few on my channel. So I'll put the link in the description box as well as on the I button that is coming up here. So if you're interested, just go through it. And if at all you make any of my patterns, please do tag me. You can find my social media handles in the description box as well. So now let's just get started. So we'll start this pattern by making a slip knot first. So make your slip knot, and once you have your slip knot, we will make 4 chain stitch. Chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here we have got 4 chain stitch. We will start row 1. So to make row 1, what we'll do is we will skip the 3 chain stitch, and into the very first chain stitch here I'm going to put 2 double crochet. So skipping these 3 chain stitch, into the very first chain stitch here I'm going to put 2 double crochet, 1, and in the same stitch another one, 2. Okay, so here we have put 2 double crochet in the very first stitch. So this is end of row 1, and if you count the chain 3 as a double crochet, at the end of row 1 you should have 3 double crochet. Okay, we will move on to row 2, and for that I'm going to just turn my work here. Now this entire shawl is just made up of double crochet stitches. So every row you can start in 2 ways. You can either make 3 chain stitch and treat it as a double crochet, or you can put 2 single crochet on top of each other. Making chain 3 and counting it as a double crochet like 1, 2, 3. This is the normal way. But when you do this and take it as a double crochet, you get gaps here. So if you are someone who have been crocheting for a long time, you will know that chain 3 creates this annoying gap and it somehow just spoils the edges. So for that I'm going to show you another way to make to stack 2 single crochet on top of each other. So you just have to turn your work, insert your hook into the first stitch and make a normal single crochet like this. And I'm going to put 1 more single crochet, and that will go on this leftmost bar that is here on the side bar. Here I'm going to put my next single crochet. So 2 single crochet will make the height of a double crochet. So this is the way that I'm going to start every row. But if you find this very difficult, you can go ahead and make chain 3. Alright, so this is my first double crochet of this row. We'll start the row 2. So this is first double crochet, and to the very same stitch I'm going to put 1 more double crochet like this. Okay, so the first stitch has 2 double crochet. In the next stitch again I'm just going to put 2 double crochet. So this is my second stitch here. I'm going to put 2 double crochet. This is 1 and another one will go here again, 2. Okay, and then I'm going to put one more single crochet, and that I will place on top of your third chain. So we had skipped 3 chain stitch, and top of the third chain I'm going to put one more double crochet like this. So this is the end of row 2. So at the end of row 2, if you count it, you should have total of 5 double crochet. So if you count this, 2 single crochet stacked on top of each other, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you should have a total of 5 double crochet at the end of row 2. Now we'll move on to row 3. So to start row 3, we will turn our work first, and we'll first make a double crochet. So every row, as I said, you can either start with chain 3 or you can stack 2 single crochet on top of each other. So I'm going to do that. So into the very first stitch, I'll make a single crochet first, and then I'll make one more single crochet, but that will go on this bar here. Okay, this one here, I'm going to make another single crochet, and I'm going to count this as my first double crochet for this row. So as I said, you can start with chain 3 also. So once you do this, into the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochet. So 2 double crochet is nothing but an increase. So in this stitch, in the second stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochet. That will be an increase. So 1 and 2. All right. Then make just 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So into the third stitch, I'm just putting 1 double crochet. Into the fourth stitch, I'm going to again make an increase. So I'll put 2 double crochet here. Into the fourth stitch also, 1 and 2. And I have one last stitch left. This was like stacked one on top of each other. So this was 1 single crochet. This is the second single crochet. So this here, this single crochet, the top one, you have a small stitch here, a V. There I'm going to place a last single crochet. Now if you have made chain 3 here in the below row, you had started with chain 3, you just put a double crochet on top of the third chain. So that finishes row 3, and at the end of row 3 you should have a total of 7 double crochet. All right, I know it doesn't make sense, just hang in there, I'll explain it completely. So this is the end of row 3. We'll start row 4. So I'm going to turn my work here again, and I'm going to make 2 single crochet. So 1 single crochet on top of each other. So this will be treated as my first double crochet of this row. Next, we'll put a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So in the next stitch, I'm going to put just 1 double crochet. Again, only 1 double crochet. Okay. So the first 3 stitches has just 1 double crochet each. In the fourth stitch here, I'm going to put 2 double crochet. That is, I'm going to make an increase. So this is 1, and in the same stitch, I'm going to put another double crochet. Okay, so in the fourth stitch, I have put 2 double crochet. In the next stitch, I'm just going to put 1 double crochet here. Then I have the second last stitch here. There I'm going to put an increase. So 1 and 2. In the second last stitch. Okay, so in the second last stitch I have made an increase. In the third last stitch, just an 1 double crochet, and in the fourth one from this side I have put 2 double crochet. Okay, so here 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. I have one last stitch left, 1 double crochet left. Here I'm just going to put 1 double crochet. All right, so in this row I have put, if I have to count from this side, I have put an increase in the second and fourth stitch. In all other stitches, I have put only just 1 double crochet. And at the end of row 4, you should have a total of 9 double crochet. All right, we will move on to the next row. So let's start row 5. So for row 5 also, I'm going to first of all turn my work. I'm going to put 2 single crochet, one on top of each other. So this is my first single crochet, and I'm going to put another single crochet on the leftmost bar. So as I said, instead of this, you can start with chain 3 also. So this is my first double crochet for this row. Into the second stitch, I'm going to make an increase. So into the second stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay. In the third stitch, I'm going to put just 1 double crochet like this. and in the fourth stitch again I'm going to make an increase. So I'm going to put 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So every second and fourth stitch I'll be increasing. Okay, and in all the remaining stitches I'm just going to place 1 double crochet. No more increases, just 1 double crochet in rest of the stitches. Okay, so I'll just say this was an increase. After that I have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and one more 5, which goes on top of this stitch, the stacked up stitches. There I'll put my 5th double crochet like this. Okay, so that finishes row 5, and at the end of row 5 you should be having a total of 11 double crochet. All right, we'll move on to row 6. So for row 6 I'm again going to turn my work. You can start with chain 3 or you can stack 2 single crochet one on top of each other. And for row 6 what we'll do is we will make double crochet till we reach the last 4 stitches. So I'm going to put 1 double crochet each till I have last 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So till that time just make 1 double crochet each. It's a very simple pattern. I'll just explain it once I'm done with 6 rows. So I'm just going to place double crochets. So 1, if I'm to count this as a double crochet, 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th one, 4, 5, 6 and 7. All right, let me check if I have 4 double crochet left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here I have 4 double crochets left. I have so far made a total of 7 double crochets. All right, including this one, 3, 6, 7. Okay, now I have last 4 double crochet left. So in the fourth stitch, last fourth stitch or fourth last stitch, this one here, I'm going to make an increase. So this is 1, and in the same stitch another 1. Okay, in the next stitch just make 1 double crochet. This is my second last stitch. In the second last stitch also I'm going to make an increase. So 1 and 2 like this. And here I have my very last stitch left, the stacked one. There also I'm going to make an double crochet, just 1 double crochet. So with that our row 6 is done, and at the end of row 6 you should have a total of 13 double crochet. All right, and with this one section is also completed. Now I'll try to break down the pattern for you. Now whenever you are doing an odd row, you should be having an increase in the second and fourth stitch, and in all other stitches you're just going to do 1 double crochet. All right, and whenever you are on the even row, you'll have to make an increase in the second last stitch and fourth last stitch. In all other stitches just 1 double crochet. So that's all to the pattern here, and we are going to repeat these 6 rows over and over again till we have a nice long shawl. Now this section is over. We will start the second section. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you see here, this was the shawl that I had made. So this is one section, this is second section, this is third section, and every section that you make, every odd row you have to do increase in the second and fourth stitch. Every even row you have to do an increase in the second last and fourth last stitch. So that is the only thing that you have to remember. So I'm going to show you how to make a section here. So 6 rows is over here. So we'll start the 7th row, which is an odd row. We will turn our work. Whenever you start a row, you either start with chain 3 or you stack 2 single crochet on top of each other. So this will be treated as a first double crochet. So as I said, in every odd row you're going to make an increase in the second and fourth stitch. In all other stitches just 1 double crochet. So this is my second stitch and this is the odd row. So I'm going to make an increase. So I'll put 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay, so second stitch is done. In the third stitch just 1 double crochet. In the fourth stitch again an increase. So just remember, in every odd row you have to make an increase in the second stitch here and the fourth stitch, and all other stitches you just have to make 1 double crochet each. So I'm just going to do 1 double crochet. Now since this is going to be a section, there is going to be a slight difference. So you're not going to do till the very end. So whenever you are starting a section, you have to leave the last 6 stitches. So I'm just going to give it a count here. So this is my first stitch, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I'm going to skip these 6 stitches, and I have, after my, if you see, this was my increase here. After that I have just made 3 double crochet. I'm not going till the very end because I'm sectioning it off. So this is end of row 7, and at the end of row 7 you should have 9 double crochet. We will move on to the next row. Next we'll start row 8, which is an even row. So I'll first of all make single crochet. I'll stack 1 single crochet on top of each other. So this is considered as a double crochet, and since this is an even row, you just have to make an increase in the second last stitch and the fourth last stitch. So till that time you just have to put 1 double crochet each. So I'm just going to put 1 double crochet in each of these stitches till I have last 4 stitches left. 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I have 1 more stitch to go. So if I have to count, if I'm going to count this as a double crochet, 1 2 3 4 5, I have put 5 double crochet here. This is my last from the 4th stitch. So since this is the 4th last stitch, I'm going to put an increase. So here I have putting 2 double crochet, then just 1 double crochet. This is my second last stitch. Here I'm going to put an increase, so 1 and 2. Okay, I have last stitch left. You can see this is 2 single crochets stacked on top of each other. Here again just 1 double crochet. Okay, so when it is even row, second last stitch and fourth last stitch, you are going to make an increase. Rest all is just 1 double crochet. So this finishes row 8, and you should have 11 double crochet. We will move on to the next row, which is going to be an odd row, row 9. So I'm going to start with 2 single crochets like this. So since this is an odd row, second stitch and fourth stitch you have to make an increase. So this is my second stitch. Here I'll put an increase, 1 2. In the third stitch just make 1 double crochet, and in the fourth stitch here I'm going to put 2 double crochet. So here this is the fourth stitch, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and then I'm just going to make 1 double crochet in the rest of the stitches till I reach the end of this row. So just make 1 double crochet till you reach the end of this row. So that's all to the pattern here. You are just going to put a double crochet, an increase in the second stitch and the fourth stitch if you are in an odd row, and if you are in an even row you have to put it in the last second last stitch and fourth last stitch. Okay, so here I have put 1 double crochet till I have reached the end of this row, and if I have to count this, at the end of row 9 you should have a total of 13 double crochet. All right, we will move on to row 10. So row 10 is an even row, so towards the last, so second last and fourth last stitch will be an increase. So we'll do that. So I'm going to turn my work. Now in case you don't know which row you are, odd or even, you don't have to count from the very beginning. You can count from this section itself. So don't start from here. You can count from here. Consider this as 1, 1, 2, 3. The next is the fourth row, which is uneven. So turn your work, and then first of all make either chain 3 or stack 2 single crochet on top of each other. And I'm just going to make a double crochet till I have last 4 stitches left. Okay. So here I have last 4 stitches left. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the fourth last stitch make an increase, 1 and 2. All right, then make just 1 double crochet. This is my second last stitch. So here again I'm going to make an increase, so 1 and 2. So I have put 2 double crochet in the same stitch. So this is my second last stitch, and here in the very last stitch I'm just going to put 1 double crochet. So this is the end of row 10, and you should have a total of 15 double crochet once you finish row 10. Now we'll move on to row 11. Now this is going to be an odd row. So for an odd row, start with 2 single crochets stacked on each other. Okay, since this is an odd row, in the second stitch we will make an increase. So 1, and in the same stitch another double crochet, 2. So second stitch an increase. In the third stitch just make 1 double crochet. In the fourth stitch here again I'm going to put an increase, 1 and 2. Okay, so since this is row 11, an odd row, you just have to make an increase in the second and fourth, and in all the other stitches I'm just going to put 1 double crochet. Okay, so I'll just make 1 double crochet till I reach the end of this row. So here I have finished row 11, and I have now total of 17 double crochet. Now we'll move on to row 12, the even row. So this is 6 rows. Again, if you count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is the 6th row. So you don't have to actually start from the very beginning. So we'll start the even row. So I'm just going to turn my work and stack up the stitches one on top of each other. And since this is an even row, I'm just going to make a double crochet in each of the stitches till I have the last 4 stitches left. Okay, so I'll make 1 double crochet in each of these stitches. Okay, so here I'm almost at the end of this row, and I have my last 4 stitches left, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the 4th stitch from the end I'm going to put an increase. Okay, this is the 4th last stitch. I have made an increase. Then I'm just going to make 1 double crochet. In the second last stitch again I'm going to make an increase, so I'll put 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Alright, and then in the very last stitch I'm just going to put 1 double crochet. Alright, so with that row 12 is also finished, and once you finish row 12 you should have a total of 19 double crochet. Alright, so one section is over, the second section is over, so it's a section of 6 rows. We will start our next section. Before that, I'm just going to explain it with the help of a diagram. So here I have got a crochet diagram or a crochet chart for this particular pattern here. Now if you see here, it is a 6 row repeat pattern, and we are making each section which is 6 rows. And whenever you start a section here, if you see, this is the second section, first section, second section, you have to leave the last 6 rows. So that is what we had done. So this is okay, this is how it is. So we had done left the last 6 rows here. Now this is the end of section 2. When you start section 3, you again have to leave the last 6 rows here. So if you see here, these are the last 6 rows. There we will not work a double crochet. So when we are starting here, we are going to make the pattern exactly what we are doing. Just we are not doing any double crochet in the last 6 rows. So that's all to the pattern. You just have to take care that whenever it is an odd row, you make an increase. So if you see here, the blue color is all odd rows. So I have written R1, R2, R3. That is row 1, row 2, row 3. So blue are all odd rows. Red is in all even rows. And in the brackets, I have written how many double crochet in each row. So if you see here, you have increases only towards one side. So this curve only has increases. You do not have increases at this section. And that is because if you see here, let's check this side. So this is row 7. That is an odd row. In the second and fourth stitches, we are doing an increase. In all other stitches, just an increase. Just one double crochet. This is R8, which is an even row. So you start with this side. So you either make chain 3. I have just shown chain 3 as the starting. If you want, you can do 2 single crochet also, but for the chart purpose, I have just made chain 3, which is the start of the row. So when you are in even rows, that is R8, R10, R12, when you come back towards the last, second last and fourth last, you make an increase. So that is how the pattern is formed. So this will be the section 3. When you do section 4, you leave the last 6 stitches and continue the pattern, whether it is odd or even. Okay, so I'm just going to start one more section with you, and then you can just go on repeating the pattern. So this is 6 rows. We will start the next section, that is an odd one. So I'm going to first of all turn my work here, and I'm going to make single crochet one on top of each other. In the chart I had put chain 3. Anything is okay. All right, so I'm going to start with a double crochet. Now since this is going to be an odd, we have to make an increase. So we'll put 2 double crochet in the second stitch here. So this is 1 and this is 2, the increase stitch. Okay, then in the third stitch just 1 double crochet, and in the fourth stitch again an increase. So 2 double crochet will go in the fourth stitch as well, like this. Okay, so since this is the odd row, in the second and fourth stitches only I am putting an increase. In rest of the stitches just make 1 double crochet each. Now since this is going to be a section, I will leave the last 6 rows. So I'm just going to make a row of double crochet till I have the last 6 stitches left. Okay, so this is how you do every section. So every section you're going to start with an odd row only, so that will be counted as 1. So since that is an odd row, you start with 2 single crochet stacked on each other. In the second row make in the second stitch make an increase, in the fourth stitch also make an increase, and continue to make a double crochet till you have last 6 stitches left. You can see 1 2 3 4 5 6. So in every section, whenever you're making a section, you make double crochet till you have last 6 stitches left and stop. Next you turn your work, and this will be your even row. So in every section, the even row, again you either start with 2 single crochet or chain 3 like this, and you just have to continue the same pattern that we were following. Since this is an even row, you have to go on making a double crochet in each of the stitches till you have the last 4 stitches left. I have last 4 stitches here. So here again I'm going to make an increase. In the fourth stitch here I'm going to make an increase, then just 1 double crochet. Okay, this is my second last stitch. Here again I'm going to make an increase, 1 and 2, and this here is my very last stitch here, so that I'm just going to make an 1 double crochet. Okay, so that finishes row 2 of the next section, and then you can go ahead and continue the exact same pattern like this. So next will be your odd row. So 1 2, next is odd row. So second and fourth stitch you're going to make an increase. So that is what is being shown in this particular pattern. And if you see here, every row you are going to have, I've put it in brackets, so every row you will have an odd number of double crochets. So you can just go ahead and continue the same pattern, no difference, just odd and even. You have to just take care, that is every increase will happen in this side. So just continue this till you have a very long shawl. I'll just show you the other one, how your shawl will go on expanding. So towards the end it will keep on expanding. If you see here, this is going to expand here. I'm not able to completely show it in one frame here, but this is how it is. So towards the last you have more number of double crochets. Okay, so just go on repeating this pattern. I hope you will be able to do it. And now if at all you are able to make it, please do tag me. I'll put my social media handle links in the description box. I would really love to see what you have made, your color selection, all of that. So do tag me if you're making one with this pattern. So yeah, that's all for today's tutorial. See you in another video. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.